What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your co-host, Donovan Quick. Now, if you didn't watch the video from earlier today, please go watch that. It's in the description below. I talked about Achane and why he is so good. And in this video, we're going to be addressing the repercussions of that. And the repercussions are Jeff Wilson Jr. might never play another down in a Miami Dolphins uniform. Now, look, I could be completely off base and I could be wrong. He could have been activated by this time that the video drops. But as of right now, he is healthy enough to come off IR, according to his agent, Drew Rosenhaus. It is all up to the Dolphins to take him off IR. Now, personally, this is my personal opinion, nothing to do with the team, have no absolute idea what they're actually doing. I don't think Jeff Wilson plays another down in Miami Dolphins uniform. I think he gets traded for a 6th, 7th round pick, maybe even a pick swap, similar to how the Cam Akers trade went. I don't see him being in a Dolphins uniform ever again. I don't. Now, this isn't even a knock on Jeff Wilson. It's just how good our running back room has been. I mean, Mostert went for 200 all-purpose yards in the Broncos game. He struggled a little bit in the last game. It is what it is. Savon Ahmed was playing really well before he got hurt. We saw him kind of get phased out of the last game. Chris Brooks, not really much playing time, but he did break out that huge run against the Broncos at the end of that game. And he has a very similar game to Jeff Wilson in terms of doesn't really have that catching ability, but he has that bulldozing ability and that bruiser kind of mentality where he'll just run through you, run tough. And he's also a lot cheaper. Chris Brooks is, $4 million a year, 2-year, $8 million contract for Jeff Wilson Jr. I could see him being traded, possibly even cut from the roster. And you know what? It is what it is. Chris Grier has shown a tendency to do right by his players that he has signed to these types of contracts. I mean, Cedric Wilson never really asked out, but never, when we brought him in as to be our number 2 receiver behind Jalen Waddle, then we traded for Tyreek Hill 2 weeks later, and he hasn't really requested a trade, but if they wanted to trade him, they talked to him about it, and they're like, hey, look, this is kind of the situation. If you want to go here, we'll trade you here. If you want to stay, you could stay. It's all up to you. And he chose to stay, and that's just where it's at. He never requested a trade, but, if he wanted to go somewhere else, he had the opportunity to do so. I think it's going to be a very similar thing with Jeff Wilson Jr. and how the Dolphins handle that. And I think it's going to be mostly on Chris Grier to try to do right by Jeff Wilson and be like, hey, look, we just signed you, but look at the breakouts that we have after we signed you. They're doing better than you. I'm sorry. It's exactly the same situation as Cedric Wilson and Tyreek Hill. Exactly the same thing. Trent Sherfield even came in and did better than Cedric Wilson last year. This year we have Eric Ezukama and River Craycraft that are doing better than Cedric Wilson. Now, given both of them, they're hurt, so Cedric Wilson is finally playing. But I digress. This could be something that the Dolphins can get draft capital for, and build more depth as the years go on. Now, our 6th and 7th round picks were claimed off waivers this year. They didn't work out, is what it is. But we have so much talent throughout this roster. It never hurts to have more draft picks because you can't pay everybody. And plus, we'll get a little bit more cap room in case we want to bring someone else in at the trade deadline. Because say Craycraft and Eric Ezukama are out for a significant amount of time, I don't want to rely on Robbie Chosen Anderson and Cedric Wilson Jr. to be our 4th and 5th receivers. I don't. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Personally, I think he gets traded. What do you guys think we should do in the comments below? Let me know. I know a lot of you are still Jeff Wilson Jr. fans, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Would really like to see what you guys have to say. Deuces.